tremendous trees. All I have to do is unfreeze them from some of the restrictions that were put on. I can do that with an executive order. We don't need energy. We have more energy than anybody else in the world. So we spend $200 billion a year subsidizing Canada. We don't have to do that. And frankly, the way that gets solved is Canada should honestly become our 51st state. We wouldn't have a northern border problem. We wouldn't have a tariff problem. They don't have much. They spend very little, as you know, the least of almost anybody on military. And we spend the most of anybody on military. We have a great military. I rebuilt the military during my first time. We're going to have to rebuild it a little bit again. Not that much, but we're going to have to rebuild it a little bit again. But Canada would be great as our cherished 51st state. You wouldn't have to worry about borders. You wouldn't have to worry about anything. And by the way, Canada is very highly taxed, and we're very low tax. We're considered a low tax nation because of me, because I cut the taxes so low. So the people of Canada would pay much less tax. It makes a lot of sense. And by the way, when you take away that artificial line that looks like it was done with a ruler, and that's what it was. Some guy sat there years ago and they said, "Rah." Well, when you take away that and you look at that beautiful formation of Canada and the United States, there is no place anywhere in the world that looks like that. It's
on Greenland.
And then if you add Greenland, that's even.
I mean,
that's pretty
it's going
good.
to look beautiful.
Okay? I'm going to look at this. I'm going to make a decision. You want to hear what my decision is? Okay. What's your best of these cars? What do you think?
Well, the car that I drive is the Model S Plaid.
Which is that one?
That red one in the middle.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's 0 to 60 miles an hour in 2 seconds. It's faster than a Ferrari.
That's pretty fast. I don't know if my people can handle it. They're going to be using it more. I'm not allowed to use it.
That's fast.
That's a fast one.
Just to be clear,
That's
so the 50%, is that going to go into effect on Canada or not?
Which one?
The 50% tariffs?
I'll let you know about it. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll let you know. But I appreciated his call. I thought it was nice. This is beautiful. Whoa! Should I get in?
Get in!
Okay. Let me get in a second.
On the Tesla?
Do you want my notes?
Yeah.
They gave me notes. I said, I'm not Biden. I don't need notes.
Yeah. I took it.
Thank you. And let me get into this sector. I'll watch Secret Service go crazy. Thank you.
I mean, if you actually drove it around, there
Oh,
really well.
that's beautiful. Wow.
I get into this other side.
That's beautiful. This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer. That's beautiful. Wow. Starting the engine now. Is this just a brake?
Yeah, it's just a brake and an accelerator. Yeah, it's just a brake and an accelerator.
That's beautiful.
Can you start it?
Should I? Let's see the engine. You gonna get it wrapped in gold?
So, do you want to actually drive it?
You don't want me to drive it, do you?
I saw Biden do a
I'll tell you,
test
it
loop
could-
here once in the Jeep.
Yeah, but,
Very easy to drive.
that's you're the only one that saw it.
So it's like driving a golf cart. It's very simple. It's literally like a golf cart that goes very fast. There's no gears.
This is really amazing. Gonna get it. Let's take a look.
Mr. President, you're going to get wrapped in gold?
Think Biden could get into that car? That's beautiful.
Yeah. Mr. President talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. You know, I've stuck up for the NFL. I've stuck up for a lot of American companies and other companies, but American companies. I did a very big favor for the NFL. I do favors for all of them. When you heard an American company, especially a company like this, supplies so many jobs that others are unable to do, when you do that, those people are going to go through a big problem when we catch them. And we get a lot of cameras up. We already know who some of them are. We're going to catch them. And they're bad guys. They're the same guys that screw around with our schools and universities, the same garbage. And we're going to catch them. And let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to any company, we're going to catch you, and you're going to go through hell.
Mr. President, your comments
at the business roundtable, especially with
Well, I have a roundtable to make it a little while. I just consider this much more important because I want to buy one of these. My whole staff is so excited because I told them they're going to safely use them, and they can't believe it. So Margot, wherever you are, Margot, she's going to use it. They're all going to be using it, and they're going to have a good time using it. And if I can, oh, there you are, Margot. Look at Margot's right there. What are you, a member of the press now? I think she's become a member of the press. Takes great pictures. What do you think of it, Margot? Do you like the idea?
I love it.
Okay, good.
We're gonna have fun.
They're very happy.
Mr. President, your comments the other day not ruling out a potential recession seemed to rattle the stock markets. The Commerce
I think this
Secretary said there
country is
wouldn't
going
be
to
one.
boom, just so you
Well,
know.
just specifically on the recession.
Yeah.
Do you
I think
think
this
there will be a
country-
recession?
I don't see it at all. I think this country is going to boom. But as I said, I can do it the easy way or the hard way. The hard way to do it is exactly what I'm doing, but the results are going to be 20 times greater.
Mr. President,
And remember, Trump is always right.
And what do you say to
If you
Americans?
look at what I've said over the last 10 years, Trump has been right all the time. This is the way to do it. We're going to make America great again. You know, to make it great, you have to have jobs, you have to have factories, you have to have. I look at some of the things that, like this last administration, he was the worst president in the history of our country. Nothing was happening. Nothing. He had no idea what was going on. Our country went to hell. And then to allow millions of people to come in that are prisoners and mental institution patients, and all of the things, gang members, drug lords, we're searching them all down now, trying to get them out of our country. And we're going to do that. But on the financial end and the economic end, what we're doing is, to me, it's the most exciting. Our country will be greater than ever before, and it won't take too long.
And what's your message to Americans right now, sir, who are worried about the stock market? What's your message to them as they watch it?
Let's go see this. I did buy one of these.
This is bulletproof.
I mean, look, in terms of imagination, I think I have a great imagination. Who else but this guy would design this, and everybody on the road is looking at it? It's amazing, actually. As soon as I saw it, I said, that is the coolest design. It's. Do you agree with that, Brian? I mean,
I do.
It's amazing.
Very cool. Yeah.
You got to give him credit.
We want the future to look like the future, and it's kind of what kind of truck would the Blade Runner drive? That was the design idea.
It's really amazing.
Elon, are you planning to remain CEO of Tesla while working with President Trump? Is there any thinking on your future at the company as we're talking about Tesla? I'm wondering where your thinking is with leading the company going forward.
Yeah. I'm CEO of Tesla, and
We should.
Any more plans
How
of
we get
additional
your
vehicles
thoughts on the
besides
market?
ones you have now?
we'll
New
get
models?
the Cybercab coming out next year.
The one with no steering wheel. Are you gonna buy one of
No,
those?
sir, I will not.
We'll pass. We're too old for that shit.
Yeah.
So, Mr. President, when you look at the market selling off, that didn't concern you, and
Nope.
where do you see it
Doesn't
going?
concern me. I think some people are going to make great deals by buying stocks and bonds and all the things they're buying. I think we're going to have an economy that's a real economy, not a fake economy. It was a fake economy. They were putting in all government jobs. You see what happened last month? We had more real jobs, and government jobs are way down. That's going to continue. Those are real jobs. Those are jobs that keep the country going. You can't have all government jobs. You have no income to pay the workers.
Yeah.
And a lot of those workers didn't show up to work. That was the other problem.
And President Trump, there's this protest leader from Columbia University that the administration is moving to deport. And he said that his arrest is going to be the first of many. How many?
I think we ought to get them all out of the country. They're troublemakers. They're agitators. They don't love our country. We ought to get them the hell out. I think that guy, we ought to get him. I heard his statements too. They were plenty bad. And I think we ought to get him the hell out of the country. I watched him. I watched tapes specifically. I watched tapes. And you can have them. Okay? You can have them. And you can have the rest of them. Let them go to school. Let them learn. Columbia used to be a good school. Now it's been overrun because of bad leadership. That's what happens. Happens to countries, and it happens to universities, and it happens to companies. And I don't want it to happen to a guy that did nothing wrong. He did everything right because he did a great company. But what he did by coming into government to help government from years of abuse, from decades of abuse, and you see that when you look at Social Security, where you have 200-year-old people on the rolls of society, that's just, he uses the word care. People don't care. Everyone knows this. But it's also, I believe it's also large fraud. I think it's that, but I think it's also large fraud. I'm just telling people, this man is a great patriot, and you should cherish him. You should cherish him. You know, I have a little statement. We have to take care of our high IQ people because we don't have too many of them.
So, Mr. President,
And we got to take care of them.
As you guys look at the Social Security Administration and you guys are looking for fraud and waste and abuse, can you guarantee people who are concerned about an interruption to benefits that there will not be?
Yes, we're going to be very careful with any interruption to benefits. In fact, only by tackling the waste and fraud in entitlements like Social Security, Medicare.
यार ये मार्केट गिरते ही जा रहा है, समझ नहीं आ रहा है ये बॉटम है या इससे भी नीचे जाएगा।
मार्केट हमेशा साइकिल फॉलो करता है, कभी बुलिश कभी बेरिश। स्ट्रेस लेने से कुछ नहीं होगा।
तो कैसे पता चलेगा ये सिर्फ करेक्शन है या एक बड़ा क्रैश?
करेक्शन का पैटर्न समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। चार्ट्स के अंदर सारे आंसर्स होते हैं। अगर तुझे पता हो कि पास्ट करेक्शंस कैसे थे, तो तू सीखेगा कि ये रिट्रेसमेंट है, रिवर्सल है या फिर रिसेशन।
अच्छा, फिर ये कैसे सीखेंगे?
ये स्पेशल मास्टर क्लास देख, फाइंड द बॉटम। यहाँ तुझे सीखने मिलेगा 2025 करेक्शन का इन डेप्थ एनालिसिस, रिट्रेसमेंट, रिवर्सल या फिर रिसेशन का क्लियर रोड मैप। और यही नहीं, पास्ट 25 साल के करेक्शंस का डिटेल में कंपैरिजन। और ये सब फ्री में।
फ्री में?
हाँ, और सीट्स लिमिटेड है। लेट मत कर, ना इसका रिकॉर्डिंग मिलेगा ना ही रिप्ले।
तो मैं तुरंत ही रजिस्टर करता हूँ।
Taking them out, we're making them much stronger. The country will be much stronger, but it's going to really be stronger economically. And when you look at what we're doing, I've been called by so many companies. Yesterday, as you know, I had a meeting with some of the biggest tech companies in the world. And all they're talking about, IBM was there. We had a lot of them. Michael Dell was there. We had a lot of great companies, Hewlett Packard. And all they're talking about is investing in this country. They want to be sure. Don't forget, they're looking down the road 10 years and 15 years. They want to make sure we have a strong country. They're all coming in. As you know, Apple, Tim Cook, he said that he's going to invest $500 billion in the United States. He never did that before. He invested in China. He's got his plants in China. And now he's got them, going to be building in the United States. And if I didn't have victory in that election, he wouldn't be doing it. And if I didn't say what I'm saying, and I'm being very honest, and it's much more difficult than just sitting around and having a great time. It's a very glamorous position if you want to do that. We could have kept it, but eventually bad things would have happened. This way, good things. I'm very optimistic about the country. I think we're going to have the greatest markets we've ever had, and it's going to be really fueled by what we're doing. You had to see these companies yesterday. They're investing billions and trillions. They're investing trillions of dollars here. They wouldn't have invested 10 cents.
Mr. President, when you talk to Vladimir Putin about this ceasefire deal, do you think you need to have a conversation with him to get the Russians to agree?
I'll talk to Vladimir Putin, yeah. I want to get, look, that's the other, it takes two to tango, as they say, right? So hopefully he'll also agree. And I really think that would be 75% of the way. The rest is getting it documented and, negotiating land positions, etc.
So you'll talk to him this week about the deal?
So, yeah.
So you have a ceasefire in place on the Ukrainian side. How close do you think then you are to a total ceasefire?
I hope it'll be over the next few days. I'd like to see. I know we have a big meeting with Russia tomorrow, and some great conversations hopefully will ensue. The people have done a great job. Marco Rubio's been great. Steve Witkoff's been great. Michael Waltz. Every one of them. They've really stepped up. They are into it. They want to see two things. By far, number one is death. The people that aren't citizens of our country, but they're people, just like you. They're people. And we want to stop. And we also don't want to